everybody. Welcome to Albion Obsessed, episode number 10. I never know the numbers. So sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
sure it's 10. I'm sure it's 10.
Number 10. Welcome. We've got five people today. I can't even count, guys. My head is fried. We've got 5 people today. Everyone's a little bit small on the screen, but you're all familiar faces. We've got Aaron to my left.
Yeah.
It looked technically right on the screen.
Technically right on the screen, yeah.
Yeah, we've got Tom back with a brand new microphone and a lovely new webcam. So we've got Tom in HD today. Hello, Tom.
Hi, guys.
Somebody's Alexa as well.
Alexa, volume 0.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
That's funny.
We've got Toby's Alexa and Toby. And we've also got our wonderful Curtis. How are we doing, guys?
Good. That's proper tickled me.
All good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That's got me. That's got
Super
me.
glad to have the special guest of Alexa
Good
on today. That's really great.
Good stuff.
I think the more we say Alexa, the more people's Alexas are going to get set off at home.
True, I was worried about mine just
True,
there. but yeah.
Alexa. Oh,
Alexa,
God.
what's the Brighton score?
My Alexa's going off now. Hold on. I think I've turned it off. I don't know. It might go off again.
So
This is the
unprofessional
most-
of me.
This is the most dysfunctional start to a podcast I've ever known. We are going to talk about football in a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been eventful, guys. Obviously, 2 very, very similar games and very similar outcomes.
Yeah.
We did a little review of the West Ham game and how mental that was, and then a few days later, exactly the same thing happens. Neal Maupay is due a second apology from you, I'm sure, Toby. I think even in his post-match interview, he was directly addressing you. I really
Yeah.
feel I really feel like that. But first of all, Aaron, did you enjoy the game, or it's just another one of those Brighton performances?
I definitely did enjoy it.
No.
That is for sure. I think enjoyment is probably the wrong word for that game. Pretty dire performance.
Yeah.
Pretty dire. Let's not beat around the bush. We missed Dunk. We missed Webster. Defensively looked really shaky.
Yeah.
Sanchez made 2 really good saves at the start, and then went on some sort of mad kicking spree where he couldn't kick it off the floor. Yeah, it's what I was expecting. To be honest, I said this on Friday. I said, wasn't sure what Brighton sort of team would turn up. And obviously the news filtering through at 2:00 that Dunk was out, and then I would have taken a point then and there 100%. But I just wish for a better performance. But it's not the end of the world. A point's a point, and we still haven't lost away from home apart from the Villa game, which is a pretty good record in December in the Premier League. So
Yeah.
It's not too bad. Sorry, guys. And we are also still sitting in the top half of the Premier League. So we
Exactly.
can't be too disappointed with that. Obviously, we're hoping this sort of, I call it a red patch of form will go soon. And surely the luck has to start coming to us because, the luck is just not with us at all at the moment.
Well, you're saying
In
that,
terms
but
of,
like
in
I
terms
think
of
we've had-
injuries.
I think we've had a lot of luck other than the injuries recently.
Yeah, exactly.
no, agreed.
We needed 8 more minutes to score the goal. Tom, did you see that coming at all?
No, not in the slightest. I'll hold my hands up and say I had another moment where I wasn't paying attention for the goal. This time I was at my Christmas tree and I was just about to put on my Brighton and Hove Albion bauble. And then the group chat goes mad, the commentary goes mad behind me, and I'm going, "Oh, what have I missed? What have I missed?" But no, it was. I wasn't expecting it. It was a pretty poor performance, especially that first half. If you had told me then at halftime we were going to go on to draw the game, I would have probably thought you were mad. But thankfully we came away with a point. It was probably one of those games where we'll be much happier with the result than the Southampton team and the Southampton fans. Disappointing is the overall kind of feeling I'm getting about the game at the moment. But happy to come away with a point. Happy for Neal to score a last-minute goal and celebrate, and just to dunk. I don't know if you guys saw it, the Duffy celebration where he absolutely the crowd. He just looked like he was loving it. So yeah, just one of those days.
Exactly. You mentioned Shane Duffy picked up a yellow card, which does mean he misses the next game against much easier opponents. I'm sure Tottenham fans will be rattled by that. Toby, where did you watch the game and what did you make of it? Another sort of lackluster performance, really.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was out gallivanting all weekend, mate. I was up in Newcastle, and then I was in Manchester to watch.
We won't mention where you were sat. We won't mention where you were sat.
Mate, I was undercover behind enemy lines. I managed to infiltrate. Every now and then I'd throw a seagulls in when they're shouting Eagles. But yeah, I managed to see a Fred screamer and Man United beat Palace. But no, talking about the Brighton game, watch the extended highlights, of course. And I remember at the time I was obviously in Newcastle. And they announced on the big monitor full-time scores, Southampton 1, Brighton 0. Had no connection on my phone at the ground for about an hour after. The two Palace friends that I was with were ribbing me all the time. Oh, hey, you lost 1-0. And then I look at my phone and I see who's done it? Neal bloody Maupay, right after I've just gone after him again. And I've apologised and he's still proving me wrong. I bloody love the fact we've got a draw. One thing that's concerning me, though, is that was probably our last big chance of getting a win in a long while. I look at some of our upcoming fixtures: Tottenham, Wolves, Man United. Not easy fixtures. Without the centre backs that we're going to need, I don't see us getting any points in the next 3, and I wouldn't be mad if we don't, to be honest. Anything from here is a plus. I'm just glad that we've got the points when we needed them. We've got them early when we had everyone available. So as long as we stay above that relegation zone, then I'm always going to be happy. But I'm just putting a warning out there now for Brighton fans. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, exactly that. It's going to be a long, long Christmas. Curtis, just before we come to you, I feel like this is a really good segue to plug the little giveaway that we announced today, which if you go onto our Twitter, you can see it up in the right-hand corner, Albion Obsessed. Go to the pinned tweet, give it a like, a retweet, and a follow. The guys are pointing you in the direct... Oh, Aaron's got it the wrong way.
I went the wrong way.
He got there eventually. Give that a like, a retweet and a follow, and you could be in with a chance of winning a lovely mystery Albion Christmas stocking with some lovely Albion festivities in there for you. So yeah, get involved with that for sure. Curtis, what did you make of the game, mate?
I was particularly disappointed. Actually, it was really, really poor, the game as a whole, and I don't think I've sworn as much as that day. I was like effing this, effing that, bloody there. And then I just gave up towards the end, and I wasn't really paying attention. I was just sort of done at that point. I was like, do I switch it off? Do I? And then there was the free kick, obviously, and I was like, there's no way this is going in. It bounced off of the wall, and it went in, and I just went mental. I went insane. And my brother was like, he's done it again. And I was like, yeah. I mean, apart from that, as I say, it was pretty disappointing. I mean, I agree with what Toby said there. It's unfortunately, what with all the injuries and stuff, it's going to get a lot worse going forward. What with the run of games we have, it's a little bit concerning. But as Toby said, it's good that we picked up the points where we have so early on in the season. So that gives us a bit of a cushion,
Exactly that. As you say, oh, sorry, go on, Tom.
I'd say it's out of interest. Go back to the free kick. Does anyone know when was the last time we scored a direct free kick?
Pascal Gross, maybe.
Yeah,
I remember Donkey scoring against West Brom.
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Donkey against Liverpool
away.
Was it really that long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably would be there.
Pascal Gross gets touted around as this set piece specialist, but I don't know if I really buy that.
We've not really been great with set pieces recently, though, have we?
We haven't.
Yeah, we never have been the last couple of seasons.
We used to be all right with our corners.
Yeah, corners
point,
again. Corners used to be one of our main points of goal, wasn't it? Our first season under Houghton in the Premier League.
Bring back Ryan Harley.
I remember the penalty he took at Millwall away. I've never seen the worst penalty that in my life. Just dinks it straight at the keeper.
But what about the free kick against Peterborough?
Yeah, fair enough. Good point.
It was only one free kick I can remember, so maybe not, Toby. Curtis, obviously you mentioned your brother saying he's done it again. Yeah, Neal Maupay, the third injury time equaliser this season, and I think our fourth goal, at least in the 90th minute. Sorry,
just to say, I want to kiss Neal Maupay on the mouth. It was honestly just, it was such good ball control when it got to him and stuff like that. And oh god, I'm bloody proud of him. Actually, I've got to admit.
The composure was unreal, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he could have blasted that over.
But then I saw on Twitter immediately afterwards. It's like, I don't want to be that guy, but it nearly missed. And it's like, well, no, it fucking went in, so just accept it. There's some fans that just can't be happy with anything, even the smallest little thing, you know. But yeah, I know. It was grand, bloody grand.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not the only one that wants to congratulate Neal Maupay in that fashion. So, yeah, get in line, buddy. Yeah, obviously, as you say, Curtis, obviously some fans still putting a little bit of a dour glow on it. A little bit, obviously, not wanting to get overly happy that we're grabbing a point right at the last second, maybe wanting.
I can get frustrations though, because as I say, the game was very poor. I mean, and I can get their initial frustrations maybe there, but just lighten up a bit.
Yeah, I know. I know. Oh dear. Obviously we came out of this game a little bit worse for wear. In terms of injuries. We're going to have to talk about it at some point, guys.
Do we have to?
Let's just talk about it now. Right. Listeners at home, have you got an hour and a half to listen to our injury list? Let's just start at the top. Obviously, we've been without Steven Alzate and Danny Welbeck for a good while, so that's no surprise that they won't be back as of yet. At the start of the season, I was saying it to everyone, we've got too many centre-backs. Why aren't we investing in other areas of the pitch when
you jinxed us, Joe?
We've got about 7 centre-backs. I think about 6 of those are injured, and we've got 1 left who has only really just come back into the side in Dan Burn. So, yeah, obviously missing Lewis Dunk. Shane Duffy's banned. Veltman went off with a whack to the face.
Yeah.
Not looking good, is it, Aaron?
No, it's not ideal coming into the Christmas period when you want players as fresh as they can be. I think, like you said at the start of the season, we had way too many centre-backs. I think, some players aren't even getting that much game time, and then look at it now, and it's, we haven't got enough. You have to let the youngsters from the under 23s get some game time. I think it's probably going to be the best bet, because especially if we've got Tottenham Sunday, Wolves on the Wednesday, then United on the Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, that's going to be busy.
So it's 3 games in 6 days. It's going to be a very, very difficult task. Tottenham don't play well at the Amex anyway. That's one of their bogey away games. Touch wood, that continues.
Yeah,
but Wolves, Wolves are a difficult team. They always have been. But I'd hope to get at least a point or maybe 3 in that, and then United to be a free hit. Just as long as we don't pick any more injuries between now and Sunday, and then whichever team starts on Sunday, I'd imagine we'll probably start the following Saturday.
Yeah,
against United, and the Wolves game will be a bit of a sort of rest some players and try and try and do something. But you can't expect everyone to play 90 minutes during the Christmas period. It's just nuts. If you do, then it's going to cause you issues. It's going to cause you more injuries along the way. We've been lucky. We've been lucky since we've been up in the Premier League with injuries.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, we have the likes of Welbeck, who is injury prone, but the last probably this time last year when he came back, he was a couple of niggles, nothing major. But we haven't lost the likes of Dunk, for a prolonged period of time, and this will be the first time we have. And it'll be interesting to see how we cope and if we do cope.
Yeah, hopefully
I think
we'll be able to prepare for it now.
Yeah, no, I agreed. Because I think that's one thing we were missing from Saturday is the leadership.
Yeah.
It seemed no one was leading the defence. There seemed to be just a very sort of us and them, the centre defence and the midfield. There was no cohesion. We missed. I think we missed Lallana in there.
Yeah,
honestly, think because Lallana would marshal that.
Yeah.
With his experience and obviously Dunky doing what Dunk does, he's an exceptional leader. But you need more than one. You need more than two on the pitch. You need.
Well, then on Sunday, who do you make captain?
I have a feeling probably going to be Gross. I don't. Do I think Gross should start? No. Will he start? Yes. And he's the only one I would say would probably. He's captain before. Is the only thing I can think of at the top of my head.
Yeah.
There's no real experienced captain in that team other than Gross now. No Lallana, no Webster, no Dunk, no Duffy. 4 leaders who have captained the team in recent games or recent years. They're not there. So you're gonna have to look in their leadership group who will take it. And it probably will be Gross. I'd imagine it would be. I can't think of everybody else that's on my head.
Yeah. Tom, who would you give the captaincy to?
Well, it would be Pascal Gross. I think he's the backup captain. But again, like Aaron, I wouldn't start him. He wouldn't be in my starting 11 because I thought he was particularly poor in the Southampton game. So for me, I guess I have to agree with Aaron because he is that leader, the only one on the pitch. And I looked over at my starting 11 that I would choose to face Tottenham, and I look there and I realise actually there's no captain in that team. So I don't know. Is the honest answer. It's about head versus heart, I suppose, in my head. I know it'll be Gross, but in my heart, I'm thinking, for the love of God, please don't play Pascal Gross. Let's go a bit of a different way. I rate Pascal Gross. I really do. I think he's a good player. I think he works best as a number 10. He works fantastically well with Glenn Murray. Glenn famously said, when they said, "Oh, how come you're still scoring goals into your mid to late 30s?" And his answer was Pascal Gross. Pascal Gross obviously brings a lot to the team. He is obviously a good player. I just don't necessarily think he's always played in the right position because I think there are other players who play the same position as he does, but they play it better.
Yeah, I feel like maybe one of the only players really that I can think of that has fallen victim to the way that Potter likes to utilize other players in different positions.
Yeah.
He's never really found his way with Graham Potter and played, as you say, in that more attacking role, which he doesn't need the pace to play in that area, but the areas Graham's putting him in, he's getting found out far too much, and that's why we've seen him not be a staple part of this team. Because if I go back 3 seasons or even 4 seasons now, when Houghton was in charge, Pascal Gross was the first name on the team sheet for me, because of what he brought. We spoke about his set pieces. You speak about his creativity for Glenn Murray. He was, as I say, second to none, really. And probably one of the best players I've ever seen in a Brighton shirt in terms of the class that he brought to the Premier League with ease, really. He was obviously the first player to score us a Premier League goal as well.
He was.
He's got that going for him as well. But yeah, I just feel it's such a shame that obviously he's fallen victim to this. Fans have maybe turned on him a little bit. I don't feel like he deserves that at all. But yeah, I don't know where he does fit in with Graham Potter's philosophy. Toby, do you see any way back for Pascal Gross to become that first name on the team sheet again for Brighton?
I don't think he'll be the first name on the team sheet ever again. I think that's just he's fallen victim to his age there. I don't think it's anything to do with Graham Potter's system. I mean, you've seen Pascal Gross excel in Graham Potter's systems before. I think, as I think Gareth Southgate said it, is that he's got, for England, he had a team of just good footballers. Doesn't matter what position they play in. I think Pascal Gross falls under that category. Actually, I do think that on his day, he provides a lot more for us than what people can see straight away. Because he might not be getting the assist, but he might be getting the killer ball through to the person that did assist. I do think that there is a place still in Albion in the squad for Pascal Gross. Against Tottenham, however, I don't believe that he'll play. I wouldn't put him captain. Do you know who I would put captain? Someone who has excelled when it mattered in recent games, leading from the front. I'd give it Neal Maupay. I think he's earned the chance to do it. To be honest, because he's come out when it mattered most, and he's cometh the hour, cometh the man. I think that he's someone that the team will be looking up to at the moment, especially when under an injury crisis like this. And if you don't mind, I'll also just put a little thing in about the injury crisis. Do we know if Ostergaard or Clark are available for recall?
So
I'm not sure.
My understanding in terms of Ostergaard, because I chatted about that as well, and I think it's one of those where he's not playing at the moment. And it's all about the stipulations in the loan agreement in regards to play time, and that could factor in whether we could get a recall. I don't know about Clark. I probably should, considering I live in the Black Country, so I probably should know whether he's playing for West Brom or not. But
he starts. Yeah, he had an injury at the start of the season, but he does play.
So yeah, as far as I'm aware, as long as the loanee team like West Brom and Stoke are fulfilling the agreements within the loan contract, we can't recall. I'm sure if Ostergaard didn't start another couple of games, we might sort of go, well, you're not fulfilling your end of the bargain. We wanted to bring him back.
Definitely. Going on to just stepping back a while onto your captaincy choice, Toby. That's an apology and a half, is it not?
I mean, like I said, if he's gonna respond to his critics, respond to poor form with scoring 2 goals that gained us 2 points from games that we were down and out of, he's shown enough for me right now to be given the chance to be that leader from the front, our very own Harry Kane. Do you know what I mean?
I think the only issue about having Maupay as captain, I reckon that might put a bit more responsibility on his head that he may not need at the moment. He may just need to just focus on doing what he's doing, which is getting goals at vital times. When you're a captain, you've got to think about all the little things, like, as stupid as it sounds, if I win the coin toss, we'll send them on and say, if we, how am I going to set the team? How am I going to motivate the team? How am I going to really pick us up when we need me the most? He may not be thinking about that more instead of his positioning or getting in the right areas, getting in the box where he needs to, and just a general contribution. That's the only thing I can pretty get you a say, though, Toby, from the fact that he's shown the last sort of 3 weeks that we can rely on him and how important a player he has become. And like I said, the only issue with him giving the captaincy is what I just said. But other than that, yes, I wouldn't. If he does get the captaincy, I wouldn't be like, how dare he shouldn't have it. But I feel it may be a little bit more added pressure on him that he may not need at the moment.
Possibly. I think it probably depends which way his mentality would take it. I think
true.
Recently, I think he's matured quite a lot. It's hard to say whether or not he would be distracted by something like that, but I think it would be good to reward him. Do you know what I mean? I think almost as if to say, you're the man that we look to when we need something. We need you now more than ever, because I can't play Pascal and the rest of our team are quite young. You're probably the one with your head screwed on the most at the moment, and you're not worried about the injury crisis, because every time we've been down to 10 men for an injury, you've scored. So I think it depends on how his brain is, I guess, because Graham Potter knows them more than anyone.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I was about to say Potter would know better than anyone what his mentality is like, and what we've seen, he does seem like you said, he's matured over the last sort of couple of seasons. He still has that little bit of a shithousery in him, which I absolutely love. But yeah, just have to wait and see, won't we? It's a difficult choice. It is a difficult choice.
Yeah, Aaron, you said something I just want to pick up on quickly, that obviously Graham Potter knows him best. That's something I want to sort of throw to Albion fans out there, and obviously you guys. A lot of people feel like they know the players and know why they're acting a certain way and why they're not starting, and etc. etc. I sort of look to Aaron Connolly. Obviously, he's got a lot of stories going around about him. Even Yves Bissouma to a certain extent. How much we can say on that, obviously, I don't know. But these players are with Graham Potter probably day in, day out, maybe one or 2 days off if they're lucky. So yeah, I really feel like we should absolutely trust what Graham is saying about these players, and because he knows them more than he probably knows his family at the moment, because he's working with them constantly. He's with them, in hotels, in changing rooms, in really pressurized environments, and that's when somebody the best is when they respond to an environment like that. And I just feel like a lot of fans maybe take that for granted a little bit, not take it for granted, sorry, sort of gloss over it, maybe. But I don't know what you guys think on that.
No, I agree.
So do I think like we only get the chance to see them for 90 minutes per game, and obviously like that, and you're like, we don't know what happens behind the scenes, and Neal, is a new father and stuff like that, so he's had a lot of stress and stuff like that, and people are like, why is he playing bad? He's a footballer, he's a striker, he should just be getting these balls in and everything else. And all these outside stresses probably definitely carry over into your game.
I wonder how many of those people that are criticizing him have been kept up until goodness knows when from a screaming baby. Because I tell you now, you say go to that, mate.
I've never criticised him. So when I found out about Neal Maupay, obviously when he was obviously going through a rough time last season. Obviously went, I don't know how many games without a goal. But when I found out that his other half was pregnant, I thought back to how early on in the pregnancy that might have been, and what stresses could have come with that. There could have been some difficulties. I don't know. I'm speculating. There could have, anything could have been happening, which his mind is completely gone. And that's the same for every single player out there. They are human beings. They have their own lives. I know that they're footballers and this is what they're paid to do, but they are only human. And I feel like people have to be aware of that, especially with how much people preach about mental illness and all the awareness around that. You have to be aware that they're human. And if you're having a rough day, they can have that day as well, and maybe even tenfold that day.
Especially when the game doesn't go their way. That must feel awful. Like they come out and play for us, and when they can't deliver, that must really sting. So for sure. Talking maybe a little bit about toxicity, something that I don't necessarily want to bring attention to, but I feel like it's important. Obviously this week or the previous week was Rainbow Laces week,
which is an incredible movement with the Premier League, and I think even the EFL do it as well. I'm not sure, but it's an incredible movement which brings obviously light to the LGBT community and the amazing things that they do in football. But what we've seen over the last two games against West Ham and especially against Southampton, which I'm rather surprised about because I thought it would have been the other way round. Just historically, I'm not sort of slating West Ham, but obviously historically they maybe have a little bit more of an aggressive fan base. Yeah, a lot of abuse online with regards to homophobia. Curtis, I want to come to you because I'm not sure if you mind me saying, but you are part of that community,
Yes,
and a massive part of our community as well. And obviously, equality shines through with everything that we do. We've spoken about it so much, me and you, Toby, as well. How does that make you feel when obviously you've never been to a game? But how does that make you feel knowing that happens?
Upset, really. I mean, I have a lot of gay friends who want to go to the football, who want to go there and enjoy the whole experience. We're no different than the person sitting next to you. We just happen to love different people. At the end of the day, and I think thinking back to it now, one of the main reasons why I've never really sort of had the urge to go to a live football game is because of the sort of toxicity and this rampant masculinity that's present at these football games, and I hear about it online. It just makes me feel so uncomfortable. I mean, I occasionally get just stuff online now and again, and I've got a strong enough will that it doesn't affect me as much. But there's some really vulnerable individuals out there who this could kill them. If I'm honest, people could. Yeah. It's just horror. It's horrible to think about, and just know anyone who's listening who are struggling, and as a community, we're here for you, and you are loved and you matter and everything else, and just know that the love outweighs the hate. That's all I'm saying about it. It's such a shame it happens when these important campaigns are happening. You think that hopefully the clubs will start to do more, but they don't. So
no,
sorry, Joe. I was saying I tweeted. There was Twitter's. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Twitter is sometimes fantastic because it's a great place to bring people together, but unfortunately, it brings some people with some pretty shitty views. And then some Southampton fan was tweeting about Brighton, and it's happened for years. I remember going to games when I was a kid and the chants, "Does your boyfriend know you're here? We can see you holding hands," all that nonsense. I remember asking my dad, what's this all about? I don't get it. And it's a horrible. If I was a member of that community and I had that chanted at me, I wouldn't want to come to football. So back to what I was saying, it's like, so this is, historically it's happened for a very long time. And then I think it's amplified by social media. And then, of course, after every game, you've always got a couple of fans, or I'm not going to call them fans, a couple of people who take to Twitter, use the hashtags of, Brighton and their team, and try and give it large in the comments, say all this derogatory homophobic stuff. And I tweeted one of them back. And I tagged Southampton's official Twitter handle in it. And I said, is this the sort of fan base you promote? Southampton never got back to me. But the person who was doing it, and this is the issue that I think there's a lot of casual homophobia, a lot of casual sort of, it's just a joke, it's just banter. As if using the word banter justifies, homophobia. It doesn't matter if you're using really horrific, deflammatory language, or you're just... not that there is a just, but it's just these people don't seem to understand that they can't just say these things, without being called out on it. And I think it's the same with racism as well. It's a lot of casual racism that's floating back into the game now. And I think that more needs to be done by the social media companies. I think more needs to be done by the clubs. like as I said, I tweeted Southampton, I tagged them in the back and forth that me and this person had, and it's obviously disappointing that Southampton never got back to me about that, but more needs to be done. These fans need to have education, because I think there should be a punishment, there should be bans, but it's also about education, because these people haven't been born homophobes. That, like, no one's born a racist. I'm a teacher. I work with children, and all children, they come in, they love everyone. They don't care about your color of your skin or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's all about what they learn about at home. It's learnt behavior. So I think education is so important. And I'd like to see the clubs doing more with the fans that are caught, as it were, using all this horrible language over Twitter.
Yeah, definitely. Toby, I feel like you've been very vocal on this before, and I just want to come to you and get your thoughts on it, and maybe ask a question as to why do you think that when these campaigns are going on, I think I know the answer, but I want to see your perspective. When these campaigns are happening, we've seen it with Black Lives Matter, and now we've seen it with Rainbow Laces as well. I think I've seen it over a countless number of seasons with Rainbow Laces, this happening. Why does it happen when a football club and an organization are trying to stamp it out?
I think a lot of it is people, and I may have the complete wrong end of the stick here, but when people see that something offends someone, if they get upset or emotional with the game that's happening on the pitch, which is not related to any campaigns that are running or any views that people have or the color of their skin or who they love, I think it brings light to the fact that, yes, that does offend people. And I think people get so caught up in their emotions that they forget what a human being might feel based on what they say. They see, oh, people are trying to stamp that out. Well, I can do that to get one at them. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like they're trying to get one over them. And I do agree with what Curtis said earlier, that there is just a rampant masculinity around football that you still get to this day. And it is sad to see. And I am glad that I'm in a section of the North Stand where there isn't anything like that at all. I can't think of a single experience that I've had with any sort of chanting of homophobic nature, racist nature, and anything at all, anything that is prejudice in any way. So I'm really lucky that I've got a group of friends that don't partake in prejudice activities, group of family the same, people that I sit with at the games, people that I've worked with, even my grandparents are fairly modern, and you sort of picture a stereotypical racist being an older person that hasn't had the education like we have, but even my grandparents are quite up to date and modern, and they know what's right and what's wrong. So I'm really proud to say that I don't see something, I'm like, oh, that will double offend someone, let's say it. Like, you've just got to realize that some things are crossing a line. And I do think that some fans just get so emotional with how the game has gone on the pitch that they forget that off the pitch people are human.
Yeah, definitely. And you said, Toby, obviously that you would picture the stereotypical either racist or homophobe to be of the older generation. But what I see it a lot from is this weird thing on Twitter called football Twitter, where said person will hide behind, I don't know, let's pick a random footballer, Fernandinho's face. They will call themselves Fernandinho's tackle or something, and they will completely hide behind anonymous means, and just attack until Twitter eventually would take them down. And what they can do is they can just then come on under another footballer's face. They can pick Jamie Vardy next. It doesn't matter what club, they'll just do it just to get the likes and the reactions. All this stuff as well that comes with football Twitter, like the ratio stuff and the big dubs, and it just doesn't make sense. And it all for me contributes towards a really toxic atmosphere, which then allows people to take that step up, as what you're saying, Toby, is to double offend them. and to get the moral high ground and get that person to react and say, I don't like what you've just said. Because I feel like as soon as you say to someone on Twitter, I don't like what you've said, they feel like they've won. So you just have to walk away from it silently, which isn't right, because you should always be able to speak up for what you believe in, and defend yourself as well. But what I wanted to say to you, Curtis, as well, because I don't feel bad myself, obviously, because I'm not the one doing it, but I feel a massive degree of sympathy or empathy. I'm not sure which is the right word there. But I want to say to you that every single person at the Amex is always welcome. You should never, ever feel like you can't come to the Amex. It's a club that are always doing work for communities that are in need, or communities that are of a minority, and always make them feel like, because you are one of us. So never ever feel that way because you see a comment on Twitter, because I guarantee you, all of us four and some will have your back every single time.
Definitely.
Thanks. I mean, that means a lot. I mean, to talk about something that Toby mentioned, because I'm unfortunately, like, I have seen some comments from the fan base as well in the past, and that hurts just like a little bit more than, say, like the opposition fans. So, like, I mean, it's definitely just something that's very deep rooted into football, and it's just something that just needs to be more done about it. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I had it when I had homophobic abuse directed at myself at the Leicester game. And I was very vocal about it on Twitter because I wanted something to be done. Both clubs got involved, the police got involved, and something was done about it. I can't say anymore.
Sure.
But I was quizzed by one of our own fans as to what it was, and if it was bad enough for me to be talking about it as much as I was talking about it. But for me, even if it's the tiniest bit of homophobic abuse, even if you step that line by a centimeter, you are still being a homophobe, and you should still have the same repercussions as if you went a mile over the line.
Yeah, I hear these people saying, again, like, oh, it's just banter and all this. Oh, it's just jokes. I'm sorry, but if you need to bring someone down to be funny, then you aren't funny. I'm sorry. That's just as simple as it is.
Exactly.
You're a dickhead, basically. So
pretty much. Exactly that. But yeah, let's move on to a little bit of a lighter subject. Obviously, there's a massive subject to talk about, and absolutely should not be trodden down or anything like that. So if anyone wants to share their story, share their experiences and how you've overcome it, please feel free to do so. You might inspire someone else. You could even save a life. Honestly, you could. But back onto the football, guys. Obviously, as I said, massive injury list. We've got Spurs on Sunday at 2:00. It's not looking promising for us, is it? They're under winning ways now under Conte. Seem to have found a bit of form, Aaron.
Yeah, no, definitely have. They definitely started to come into some form. I think they always go into. Granted, it is only Norwich. They obviously took a part on yesterday. But they're a good team. They got some world class players in their team. It doesn't matter if Nuno Santos was still their manager; they're still a good team. Is it going to be more difficult with Conte in charge? Yes, absolutely. But it's like I said at the start of the pod. It's not. Tottenham don't play well at the Amex. If we turn up, we'll give them a good game. And if they don't turn up, then it's even better for us, really, with our injury list. But just got to really wait and see.
I saw somebody that Kane hasn't been in good form recently.
Oh no, he'll score. He probably he's not been in good form, but no doubt he'll probably score. He'll
bag a hat trick.
Shut me up. Yeah, in front of the North Stand as well.
I saw somebody tweet if a player needs to roll it back a few years, it's Aaron Connolly, and he needs to have the same game he had in, I think it was his Premier League debut.
It was, It was
he
his
scored
debut,
a lovely couple of goals, and obviously Lloris went off injured after the little.
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
Really, really bad. That was right in front of me in the southwest corner.
I couldn't really get a good angle of that when it happened when I was watching it on television. But
mate, it was horrific.
It was grim. It was bad.
Yeah, his arm.
Did he just fall like onto his wrist then, or like what?
It was his whole arm, was it not?
Yeah, he fell back on his arm, and his arm basically went like this.
Oh, Aaron, don't show them.
Yeah.
So then he was a bit screwed at that point.
Yeah.
I need a shower after that, Aaron. That was disgusting.
I have to say, he needed the gas and air straight away.
100%.
One of my auntie's colleagues was actually working on him that day. He was a club doctor. Apparently it was horrific. But let's move on from that. I'm sure people are enjoying their dinner whilst listening to this. Well done, Aaron. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So as I say, a little bit of a difficult one coming up. Tom, your starting 11. Let's throw you under the bus and get you to go first.
Well, that's good actually, because I need to offer an apology, don't I?
You do.
You do.
Take a wide screen, Joe. Take a wide screen.
You definitely do.
Here he comes.
Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. Tom, Exiled Seagull. I've got something to say to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for dropping Jacob Moda in favour of Enoch Umwepu. I was wrong. No, I was wrong. We really missed Moda, and obviously game one, he took the free kick that he sent into the wall, but obviously redeemed himself by giving it to Neal. But anyway, so that was my apology. But don't worry, Dan, because Jakob is in my starting 11. So I'm going to go with standard Sanchez in goal. Then I'm going to go with a back three. I don't want to change the system up, even though we have got injuries. Because I also think it means that we'll get the best out of Lamptey, Cucurella. So I've gone from a back three of left to right, Big Dan Burn. Then I've gone with Hayden Roberts in the middle, and then I've gone Joel Veltman on the right. Then midfield four of Cucurella, Bissouma, Jakob Moda, and then Tarek on the right. And then I would go with the front three with the two just outside of Maupay, Solly March and McAllister, and then Neal up top. That's my starting 11, lads.
I'd happily go for that one.
Yeah.
Obi, do you agree with that?
Yeah, do you know what? I think literally name for name, I think you dropped it perfectly how I would. I don't think that it's actually as weak a defence as I thought it would be. Actually, now that it's been said out aloud, it actually sounds
I think as long as
pretty
you've got
strong.
There's two holding midfielders in Moda and Bissouma. I reckon they could offer a decent amount of protection, especially for Roberts if it's his first game. But he played against Villa in the Cup. Was it last season? And I thought he looked really good. I know he hasn't featured for us in the first team yet, but I think he's got a bright future. And when the Leeds United were apparently after him, that must mean something.
Do you know what? It'll be really good to see McAllister play as well if we get that lineup, because I think that he's another player that's maybe fallen victim to not being able to fit in the system, and I do think that he's a quality player, and I think even early this season he showed signs of really coming good. So I'd be excited. If you want my prediction now, do you want it now or should I save it?
Yeah, go on.
Do you know what? I think it's going to be another 1-1. And I think that we're going to score first this time. So I think we're going to have a heartbroken.
Oh, no. Right, Aaron, we'll come to you with the prediction. Is it another Neal Maupay finish?
You can't rule it out, can you? Just can't rule it out.
It's going to be one of those games where I swear I say this every week. If we don't turn up, then it's going to be a difficult afternoon. I mean, the team I would pick would be near enough exactly the same as Tom. If Maupay gets anywhere near the starting lineup, I'm watching the F1. He was. I've never seen a midfield performance that bad from him. It was just like I said in the group chat. He was awful. The fact he played 90 minutes was just pure baffling to me. Let's go 1-0. I'm gonna same as Toby 1-0, and we'll go McAllister goal.
Ooh,
McAllister
lovely.
goal.
Yeah.
In the last 15 minutes, I'll say United. Spurs will take the lead. Probably like Human Son or more, one of them.
Yeah.
Two irritating sods. We see what happens.
I feel like we're gonna set up for another apology here after that Maupay run.
To be fair, if Maupay comes on and scores 3 goals in the next sort of during over the Christmas period and turns into Iniesta or Xavi, then I'll apologise.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I am safe in that.
Fair enough.
He was good. In all fairness, he's been good before he got his injury.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was his first game back. Got to give him that. But God, it was bad.
Already
sure.
groveling.
I'll put my point across, and I will give him some credit.
No,
Only fair to give him credit where credit is due.
we'll give you that, Aaron. No problem. Curtis, we'll come to you for a prediction then. What are we thinking?
In regards to the lineup first, I pretty much completely agree with Tom. But I do wonder, like, how's Veltman doing? Do we know any updates on that?
Didn't he just get? Wasn't it just a minor face injury? But I think he's supposed to be back.
All right, good, because I was quite worried about like concussions and stuff like that.
Yeah, concussion protocol. We'll find out, I guess, in Potter's press conference Thursday.
Yeah,
he's also 1 yellow card off a suspension as well.
Yeah, there's that as well, which I was kind of concerned with.
Good point, David.
Ed Turn.
Yeah, the positive there obviously is if Veltman does get banned, then we've got Shane Duffy coming back.
And Webster's only on 2 games he's missing, I think.
Yeah, 2 games. Well. Yeah, it'd be this week.
They say 2 games.
Look at Lamptey.
Exactly.
He'll be back in 2 weeks, 18 months later.
I'm slightly concerned with Webster. It seems like Webster's picking up a little bit more injuries as of late, and that's concerning. But anyway, to the score prediction, I'm gonna say it until it happens. I'm gonna manifest a 2-1 win, because why not?
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll light some incense and pray over some crystals or something. I'll see what I can do. Yeah, 2-1. Why not?
Cool. Tom, we didn't get a prediction from you, so we'll ask for it now.
I'm glad Curtis went 2-1 because I'm going to go 2-1 as well to the good guys. I reckon Spurs will dominate the first half. They'll score, and we'll have one of those halves of football where we're all just head in our hands, going, "Oh my God, this can't be any worse." And then we'll come out second half like we did against Liverpool, and I reckon we'll grab 2 goals because I think we do play better against the quote unquote bigger teams.
It's true.
I do think that when we play teams that are towards the bottom of the table, we tend to not sink to their level, but we tend to get sort of dragged into that sort of nitty gritty part of the game where we don't necessarily excel at. So I'm hoping that for a nice open game of football, we can play our stuff in the second half, get a late winner. I'm going to go 2-1, McAllister and Maupay.
Lovely. We love that. I'm going to follow this up with a bit of negativity, I'm afraid. I'm going to predict a loss. Sorry, guys.
I'm glad someone said it. I only went
Sorry, guys.
Only went 1-0.
I have to be real. With the injuries we have, obviously Trossard missing as well, who I feel like has maybe been one of our most prolific and most creative players. That we will struggle to create something. Hoping McAllister can come in and prove me wrong. Even if Solly March can step up to the plate. I do actually really like what Solly March is doing when he does come on. I know a lot of people don't really like him, but yeah, I'm a massive Solly supporter. So yeah, I feel like Tottenham would just be a little bit too much for us to in a really good reign of form at the moment. I'm going to go through. I think we'll score, but I think I'll go through a 2-1 loss.
Yeah, but
guys.
it would be typical Tottenham fashion to come to us on a good form and lose. So
that's true.
I
That
mean,
would
that
be
is true,
very
yeah.
Spursy. That
Yeah.
would be very Spursy.
Well, the thing is, last time when Connolly got his brace, didn't they lose 7-0 in midweek to Bayern, and then came to us and lost?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then who? Mourinho was supposed to imagine. Was it Mourinho or Poch?
Yeah, Mourinho was still the with the Connolly game.
That was
Yeah,
Poch.
no, Poch.
That
Poch was because then Poch got sacked after that, didn't he?
It was the game last season that it was Mourinho because it was on Spurs TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, is that when we beat them? Did we beat them 1-0 last season?
It was like a last-minute winner, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we had the Liverpool one and the Tottenham in literally in one after the other.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was living a dream.
Yeah, that was a good 6 points. That was fantastic.
And then we had the worst end to a season ever, I think, except for the Man City game.
Brighton. Typical Brighton.
The Man City game was impeccable.
I feel like I'm going to pitch this idea to you guys quickly because I also want to know what the viewers think. I feel like we should do an episode where we all come on and talk about our favorite ever game and just have a bit of a reminisce.
Yeah,
I like that.
How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome.
It's like Albion Obsessed remembers. That'd be good.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yes, I love that. Right, guys, let us know if you want to see that. Give it a like, give it a share. Don't forget to enter the Christmas giveaway. It's going to be great. And I might even hand deliver it to you if you're local. So, you get to see my face. Amazing. Just to save on delivery costs, really. But yeah, good episode. I'm stingy. What of it? Good episode, guys. Hopefully 3 points on Sunday and we can have a good chat afterwards. Obviously, I know I was a bit of a negative Nelly just then, but hey, someone had to be.
There's always got to be one. It's always got to be one.
Always.
It's normally me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm quite pleased it's not.
Yeah, I'll take the stick this time, Aaron. And I'm sure if we win by 4 goals to 0, I'll be on there doing an apology as well. But yeah, cheers, guys. We'll see you very soon. And up the Albion. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye for now.